What's up, everybody? Welcome to Beyond Strength Performance Nova here in Dulles, Virginia. We're back again with our weekly video series. In this week's video, we're going to go over the Turkish Get Up, and we're going to do something a little bit different this week, where we're going to show the Turkish Get Up with like a 10-mile view here, and then you're going to jump over to Miss Lori Lindsay's website, and you're going to see things about the quarter Turkish Get Up, the half Turkish Get Up, and the way that we really teach it rather than throwing all the information to you at once. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Lori jump down on the ground, and we're just going to walk you through the step-by-step parts to the Turkish Get Up. So number one, when Lori sets up, she's setting up everything on 45-degree angles, as opposed to having her start everything really closed down. This is a common mistake that we see. Go back to closed down. If people start closed down, they go to do the roll, and they feel like they have to do a sit-up to get there. But whenever she goes out to those 45-degree angles, this gives her a direction that she's going to roll to. Because the Turkish Get Up is really starting with this first thing, the quarter Turkish Get Up, a roll and a pull. So go ahead and come back down. You'll notice that she's rolling, driving off of her right leg to start to go towards her left arm, and then she's pulling using her left elbow as the anchor point. So go ahead and come back down and do that one more time. So she starts to roll and almost simultaneously rows her left arm. Left elbow, left forearm, rows to pull herself to this position. Now we're in a strong, stable quarter Turkish Get Up position. From here, I can come over and check and make sure if I drive down, this shouldn't really mess her up. If she was way out here and I drive down, I'm going to drive her arm away. So we want these strong, straight lines. This is a good quarter Turkish Get Up position. From here, she's going to take her left arm, her base arm, and drive into the floor and come up to her hand. Next thing she's going to do is she's going to do what we call squish the bug. So she's just going to turn that hand out. What that does is puts her shoulder in a better position to go into the next transition here. Now, we have two choices at this next part. We here at Beyond Strength Performance Nova do what's called a high bridge, but not everybody does this. The high bridge, she's going to drive her hips up into the air and get a lot of clearance underneath those hips, making basically a straight line from her armpit down through her hip. This is going to essentially give her guidance on where her leg's going to go when she does the sweep, as opposed to a low sweep, which is another way to do this. She'll show you that right now, where she just lightly lifts up and passes through. So go back through. Let's do the high bridge again. So the high bridge, we go all the way up. Big clearance, pass that leg through. Right, go back through. One more time, the low sweep. This time I want you to stay even closer to the ground. So just kind of drag that leg, right? So she does them pretty similar. You could do, I want you to take it to like the extreme. Come back down. Literally drag your leg the whole way. So drag that leg, right? So that is the way that some people do a low sweep. She kind of did like a mid-range one is her preference. And then the high sweep would get a really big lift on those hips to come through, okay? So now from here, the next thing that needs to happen is we can check and see if she lifts her hand, will she fall over? No. Cool. So go back to there. So what she's going to do, that's the position. Our knee should go to a position that we should be able to lift our hand without falling over. If she has her hand way out there, go ahead and do it wrong for a second. Lift her hand, she's going to fall over, right? So we need to sweep to a position where we're stable on that knee, which is typically just outside of our hips, that knee that we're sweeping through to, okay? So from here now, she's going to hinge towards her heel of her back foot. At this point, she should be able to lift that hand and hang out for a second. And now she's just going to sit up tall. So she rises up. This is the point where our eyes go to the horizon. Up to this point, our eyes were on the imaginary weight that's in our hands the entire time. I can come over and check her again, drive down, make sure she's in good straight lines, right? From here, we have two choices again. Two choices. You can either pivot this back leg like that to get to a lunge position, or go back. Or she can step her right leg over. Either one works. Comes down to preference. Some people find, well, either version annoying. It's really your preference. So what we're going to do from here, we're in a good lunge position, and she's simply going to drive up to a standing position. From here, we're just tall and tight. We have that bell or dumbbell, whatever we're using, overhead, and then we reverse the process. She's going to step back. We want to make sure we step back far enough that we're into a good lunge position. Go ahead and turn face that way real quick towards the kettlebells. Perfect. So you can see from the side here, she's stacked, shoulder over hip over knee. Okay? Her arm should be nice and straight up so that if I were to push down, she's good with the implement that she's using. And then from here, we're going to either step the leg or pivot the back leg again. So she chose to pivot. She's going to slide her hand down her thigh and come out again to a point where she has that straight line, where she can test, lift her hand up, and she's not going to fall over. Good, we have that same position. Now she's going to do the sweep of her choice to come back through. She finds the floor. She's in that externally rotated, squished bug position. Now we need to reverse squish the bug. So she's going to turn those fingers a little bit more forward. She's going to, it was a pull to come up, right? Now it's a push. She's going to push herself away with her left hand and start to find her right butt cheek. So push away and control that motion the entire way. Okay? So that's the 10-mile view of the Turkish Get Up with the one, the only Lori Lindsay. And like I said, you're going to want to check out lorilindsay.us. We'll have a link in our blog to this to see the quarter Turkish Get Up in detail, the half Turkish Get Up, and the reverse Turkish Get Up. And you'll be off to doing Turkish Get Up greatness. Okay? So again, this is Coach Chris and Lori Lindsay here at Beyond Strength Performance Nova. And if you guys are interested in coming to check us out, just head over to bspnova.com and sign up for your free consultation. And we'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye.